In this video, I'm going to show you how I sharpen the blades on my John Deere zero turn. I have one of those electric winches mounted up here. There's my sharpening station. So, let me get started. I have a strap that goes around with the bottom of the mower, as you can see. I added an extra hook so I can pick up both loops at the same time. Cordless Ryobi torque wrench. Normally what I like to do is already have a set of blades already sharpened, so when I crawl under there I just take the dull ones off and immediately attach the sharpened ones. Saves me a step. These blades are the mulching blades. They're pretty worn, but it's the off season. I'm just cutting a few weeds and chopping up leaves, so I'm not worried about it. I found that putting a rag inside the vise holds the blade better, and you don't have to tighten the vise up all the way. I use just an angle grinder, and as you're sharpening the edge here, make sure you don't get it to change that weird color like a blue color. You're overheating it. You're just going to make it dull up quicker. So you want to move it swiftly along the edges. Just try to follow the contour from the factory cut. I'm also going to sharpen these little teeth here. Okay, so here's the side that I didn't sharpen. These blades are pretty beat up. If they were out of stock when I stopped on my way home, I would have just replaced them, but I can use them a little bit longer. I mean, here's the side I just sharpened. You can see the mulching teeth are sharp. Looking good. Incidentally, I like to sharpen it with the blade spinning and shooting the debris with the flow, not into the cutting edge. It tends to eat up the edge a little bit too much. I'm going to try to overheat this tooth right here on the end, just so you can see what I'm talking about, the color change. I'm not sure if it'll show up on the camera, but we'll give it a shot. You see the purplish color? That's what you want to try to avoid, especially on this cutting edge. It's just a sign it's too hot. Okay, then what I like to do is try to look at them and see. To me, this one looks like it's worn more than this one and this one. I think this one's in the best shape. That's the medium one. And this is the most worn blade. So the most worn blade, I'm going to put on the side over here, opposite of the side discharge. The middle blade is going to go in the middle. And then the blade that looks like it's in the best shape is going to go on the end. And the theory of that is because when this blade cuts, it throws it into this blade, and then it throws it into that blade and out the side discharge or into the mulching plate. So that blade on the opposite of the mulching plate or the discharge is going to have a little bit more wear on it than the middle one and the end one. Now it's time to reinstall the blades. So what I'll do is I'll hold the blade up and give it the bolt a couple of finger tightening just to make sure it's not cross thread. And then I'll hit it with the impact wrench and tighten it down. Okay, just always remember when you're installing the blades, you always want the fingers, or if it's a solid area here, you always want that pointing up, not down. If you put them blades on upside down, these will gouge into the lawn below the cutting edge. So always put that part up. Now, before I had raised this mower up, I had lowered the deck all the way down. And the purpose is to give me clearance in here, because I need to get to this grease tab here on that pulley, and then on these wheels, you have the grease tab here. The cap fell off again. They did on both sides. And you have the grease fitting here, and that helps lubricate these wheels turning. I keep buying new caps on here, and when I go under brush and stuff, it keeps popping them off, so whatever. Keep it greased, you'll be fine. I got my old reliable grease gun. I wrap rags around there. I swear it always gets grease in my gloves and stuff, but whatever. So I'm just going to give each one of the spindles a couple of pumps, and I'll give the wheels a couple of pumps. And on the wheels, I like to give each wheel a couple of pumps and then turn the wheel and then give it a couple more pumps. So give it 3 pumps and turn the wheel a couple of times. And then give it a couple more pumps. Okay, so now the blades have been sharpened. It has been greased. It's not due for an oil change. I'll make another video on that. So it's just time to lower this thing down and get it loaded up. Here's that strap. It came with that electric winch. Very handy. One thing I want to mention at this point is if you decide to go with a grinder like this, make sure it has like this type of a paddle switch, not an on and off switch. This way, if it gets caught in my shirt or jacket and it rips this thing out of my hand, it turns off. If you get a real cheap Chinese one, it'll just have an on switch. If it gets ripped out of your hand, it keeps going. So get one that has the paddle switch so when it comes out of your hand, it turns off. Okay, now it's time to load it back up. So I've raised the deck, and I also turned the blades on before I got it to this point here. What I'm trying to do is, just make sure I don't have any weird vibrations or anything that sounds like maybe I put a blade on crooked. Everything is good. I'm going to back it on. Now I'll use my automatic tailgate. I made a video on how to do this. Not very good.